inheritance, right? It's the one of the most important object-oriented concept, and I will come across this inheritance everywhere throughout this language, right? So most of the topics, whatever you learn, will be combined with polymorphism and inheritance. Very, very important thing here, right? So inheritance is one of the pillar for object orientation, right? So what is inheritance? How and what is the importance of this inheritance in object orientation, right? Inheritance, right? What is the importance of this inheritance in object orientation? We'll try to understand, right? So inheritance is nothing but giving the properties or taking the properties or functionalities, right? So to understand clearly what about this inheritance, right? One of the most important feature, right? So let me design some kind of classes here as we started designing the classes, right? So let me design some kind of classes here. I'm trying to design a classes, some group of classes I'm trying to design here. Okay, fine. Now let me design some group of classes here. So let me take some two basic classes so that later we try to add some of other classes to this. Now I'm going to take these classes again, very basic example. I'm going to take here a class called as faculty, and one more class called as a student. There are the two classes I have taken here. So here these are the two classes. I am going to describe. Okay, fine. So I am going to describe what these two classes can do for me, right? So I have taken two classes. Now one class is faculty, the other class is student, right? Now let me describe the faculty class. Just I would like to write some properties and some functionalities from this, right? So here I am describing some faculty attributes here. The attributes are like a name, age, right? Some experience as well. I'm going to take some salary, some fields here, right? As well I'm describing some functionalities, teach, right? And if you take generally a faculty, still what a faculty does, teach, conduct exam and all lots of things he's going to do here. And I'm going to take one basic functionality called as okay, basic thing, register attendance, and there is one functionality I'm taking, register attendance something here, fine. So this is what every faculty should do here, right? Making it short here, register attendance, fine. This is one class I have with some set of fields and set of functionalities. Again I'm going to take a class called as student class. I'm going to define what a student is going to do here. I'm going to take some set of fields, name, age, right? And let's suppose subject, what is learning, and still you can have a still you can describe a student marks. Okay, fine. Let us take. Still you can describe it. Now I'm going to write some functionalities, read, write, right? and again register attendance, something, right? Lots of things you can still describe. Just I want to make it short. I want to make it simple and short. Oh, what happened? Everything I lost here. Okay, fine. Let me rewrite it. What we have taken: name, age, and you have still you have a subject which is trying to learn, and marks as you said. It's fine, right? And this is marks here, and some functionalities: rate, write, and register attendance. So these are different functionalities I have, right? So this class is used to create student objects with this set of fields, with this set of functionalities, and this class is used to create a student objects with this set of fields and this set of functionalities. Okay, so two different classes, and each class has its own set of properties and functionalities, right? So this class, if I say this class is used to create faculty objects and this class is used to create a student objects, right? So here if you see these two classes, right, so there is, okay, if you see them independently that is fine, but when you see these two classes there is some little drawback is there, some drawback is there in these classes. So what is the drawback I have in these two classes? There is a simple drawback I have in these two classes. So what is the drawback here you have in these two classes? Right, so that class is used for faculty objects, creating the to create the faculty object, and this class is used to create the student objects, right? So if you see there is a small drawback you have here. So the drawback is this one, as he says, as he said here, right? So this is the drawback you have. So here I have here I have so this is the one field I have, as well as this is the one more field I have. Here you can see two fields, and here there is a functionality called as register what? Attendance, right? So like this there are two classes I have taken where there are some common set of functional fields and there are some common methods are there, right? Okay, now let's suppose if I add one more class to this hierarchy, just example I'm taking. Now if I add one more class to this hierarchy, what is that class? Again I'm going to take one more class, and just any other class you can take, right? Any other people will be there in the colleges apart from these students and faculties? Can anybody help me here? Can any other persons will be there in the college apart from students and faculties, right? So guards, right? So let's suppose accountant, office staff. Accountant, one of again person who will be there. He will also have what? Name, some age. Just roughly I'm taking this, and he will have some what he's going to do: name, age, again salary. Also he will have. You can take absolutely no problem. Still you can consider a lot more things here. Accountant, and he is going to do what? Collect fee, right? As well he is going to do, again I'm making it short, register his attendance. He is also going to do this. So here if you see again, when I designed this I have taken again some fields here and one functionality, Now this is what I consider as a simple drawback. Why here? Now when I keep on adding the classes like this, when I keep on adding the classes to my architecture, when I try to design my classes like this, so a college application, I require lots of still more classes here, right? So here you will have a office by, again you can collect some fields and functionalities of him. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to write the repeatedly the same fields and some functionalities which are common for all these group of objects. Now if I keep on writing like this, what happens here? So I'm unnecessarily writing some extra functionality. If I take a register A kind of functionality method, I'm unnecessarily writing 3 times. I'm increasing the code. So instead of this, what I can do here, so there are some set of common fields I have. There is one method which is common to all. Now what I can do here, instead of repeatedly writing these things in each and every class, right? Right. So to reduce the code, and right, so to reduce the code in each and every class, whatever the functionality I'm trying to repeat, so I can make all these things into one area. I can whatever the common things I have here, so I'm going to separate these common things from what I would like to separate these common things from each and every class, and I would like to place these common things into one area, right? So whatever the common things I have taken, instead of writing them in each and every area, I would like to take them into one common area, right? So shareable, right? So this common I'm taking it as what? Employee. What is the name I have kept here for this? Employee. And I will be writing this commonly used and repeatedly used fields and functionalities into this name and age, which I have seen repeatedly in each and every class. And there is one functionality called as register attendance. So what I am going to do here is, instead of repeatedly writing each and every functionality with each and every class, I am making one common location where I am keeping all these common things, right? So what I am going to do here, now what is these common things will help for me, how these common fields or functionalities will help for me. So no need of repeatedly writing this. So wherever you have these common things, you can simply remove them. Right? So this I'm going to remove, I am removing this, and this is what I'm taking it as a common method to all these different classes. So instead of writing them repeatedly, I'm removing them from each and every class, and I place them into one location, and this can be this location. So I placed all these repeatedly writing things into one location. Okay, this is fine. But what is these things? These are common shareable properties and functionalities, methods with each and every class, right? So I will place all those things into one class, and I am going to give this shareable properties. I am going to give these shareable properties with each and every class, right? So these common properties can be accessed with what? Each and every class. That is what I'm going to do here. So what advantages I have here? Making like this. So what is the meaning of a faculty here? We'll come to these advantages. What is the meaning of faculty here? So a faculty is an object which has what? Name, age, experience, salary, register attendance, and teach. A faculty means not only this one. A faculty means what? These common things along with his own specific things, right? A student means what here? A student means not only this. A student means subject marks along with the name and age, read and write. And accountant means what here? Right? Not only salary, he is also having what? Name, age, salary, register A, and collect fee. So instead of repeatedly writing this name, age, and register attendance with each and every class, so what I did here, I made one piece, right? And into this piece, I am adding all those repeated things, and I am sharing these repeated things into each and every class which are required, these common fields, right? Okay, so just I separated the things which where what I have seen in each and every class, whatever the common fields I have seen in each and every class, instead of writing them repeatedly, I made into one class, and this I am sharing with what? Each and every class. Is it okay? It's not only common fields, you can have common methods. Just for example, I have taken only few fields and few methods. Right? Okay? So what a faculty mean here? A faculty mean what? Collection of these fields and his whatever I see in the faculty. Apart from these, a faculty is also having what? Name, age, register A. And what about a student here? Whatever you can see in the student, apart from this, he is also having what? These common fields. Again the same with accountant. So what advantages will have here? By dividing, by arranging the classes in this manner, what advantages have here? Right? What advantages I will have here? Instead of writing each and every field into each and every class, so I observed some common things. I separated them. I placed into what? One separate piece. I arranged. I placed into all these common things into one separate class, and these are, I'm saying what? Shareable properties with each and every object of employee type. Right? Now, what advantages I will have separating these common fields and placing them into what? And one class, and giving access to what? All the classes which are required those common fields. What advantages I will have here? We have to write less code. Yes, absolutely. So in each and every class, you don't need to bother of writing right? Name, age, register A. So the functionality is no need to write repeatedly. Okay, fine. Next. Code is reduced. Absolutely correct. Instead of writing register A method 3 times in each and every class, I have written only once, and I'm accessing it from that common location. Absolutely correct. Next. Next, what we will have still? Not correct. Time save, fine. Right? What is the meaning of time save? Now we'll see here. Now let's suppose in the future I would like to add, when I have designed my classes, I have only these 3 objects, so that I have taken out all common fields and I have placed into one. Now let's suppose in the future I would like to add one more class to this hierarchy. One more class to this hierarchy. So how I am going to add this one more class? Let's suppose I would like to add a class called as okay, we'll add a simple class where you will find some office boy. He's also a different person object. Now what I should do here? What I should do here? What I should write into this office boy? So what things I should write into this office boy? Now can you give me any example? What should I write into this? Right? So again, I don't bother about what? These common things. I will only need to see what a office boy is going to do. Right? So clean the office, lots of things he is going to do. Right? And I don't bother about name and age. Why should I bother about name and age here? Because already have taken them in the super class. Already have taken them in one common area, and this name and age are by defaultly available to this class. And my focus would be on only what a office boy is going to do. Salary, address, lots of things you can still add to this. Right? So qualification you can take. Let's still you can add some properties to this. It's not compulsory that each and every class should have common fields and some specific fields and specific methods. So right, so here now what advantages you have here? Now can you tell? So somebody said, right, so code is reduced. Absolutely correct. Time is saved, because when I am trying to add a new class, I don't bother about what? These common things. I only bother about the specific things of this particular object. Right? And a very important point here is, it is easy to extend the architecture in the future. In the future, if I want to add a new classes, right? Like office by kind of class. So I don't bother about what all common things. I just only focus. I need to focus only what that specific type, what that object can do. Only his specific of properties and his specific functionalities. It is easy to extend the architecture in the future, right? And it is easy to maintain the classes, right? So it is easy. What is the meaning of a faculty? If you see faculty independently, and it is easy to maintain your classes course. So it reduces the complexity while designing these types here, right? So like this, arranging the classes, like this arranging the classes in a hierarchical manner is called as what? Inheritance. Like this arranging the classes in a hierarchical manner is called as inheritance, where all common things, whatever you find in each and every class, we keep all these things into one class, and these common things will be available for each and every class which wants to take these properties, right? So in technical terms, we call this class which has all common things, we call this class as a generalized class. Generalized means what? Now if you see generalized class, what is the meaning of a generalized class here? Now if you see employee, it will not give any complete meaning of what is the employee here. It says what? Employee will have name, age, and he registers attendance, but it will not say whether this employee is of type faculty, or he is of type office boy, or it is of type student, or it is of type accountant. It will not say anything here. It says simply an employee, that's it. It is not more specific. This class will not describe more specific details of an employee. Now these classes, whatever you see in the bottom layer, they are called as specialized form of that what? Specialized form of that particular, right? So this bottom layer is said as what? Specialized forms. So this gives you complete meaning. So what is a faculty? A faculty class represents faculty objects, which has these fields as well as what? These common things. A office boy class represents a object of type office boy, like this, right? So it is very easy, right? So the classes, arranging the classes like this is called as what? Hierarchical manner is called as inheritance, or we most commonly we call it as what? A generalization. What is generalization here? So we will be keeping all generalized properties into one area and one class, and these properties can be accessed. These functionalities and properties can be accessed with some other classes. And this class which has all common things is called as a generalized class, or technically we call it as in Java terms we call it as a super class. What we call it as? A super class. And the classes which have its own specific things, right, along with all the common things, are called as subclasses, right? So what is the meaning of, what is the technical term we use for this is a super class which will contain all common things, and subclass which will have its own specific properties and functionalities along with what? These superclass properties, right? The relation in between this class, there is a relation. What is the relation you have in between these? We call this relation as generalization. Technically we call this as inheritance. Inheritance is nothing but what? Inheritance is nothing but, in simple, technically if I want to say, inheritance is nothing but arranging the classes in a hierarchical manner to achieve the first important feature is to achieve what? Code reusability. It is what? Code reusability. So what is the meaning of code reusability? Instead of writing multiple functionalities in each and every area, I have taken one functionality and I am repeatedly using where it is required. That is the first advantage you will get. So whenever you want to code reusability, instead of writing this register A functionality, with each and every class, I am going to make it into one area, and this is shared with all the classes which are required this register A functionality. So that instead of I'm doing what? So by making this class, by placing all these things into this class, so all, instead of writing repeatedly, I can reuse them from this I can reuse them. Name is used with faculty, office boy, student, as well as account. Age is used, right? So I'm having one copy of this. I have written one copy of these fields, and they can be used with what? They can be used with all these subclasses. The first important feature you will get is code reusability, as you said, and reduces the code, with each and every class, right? And you will have what? So you can extend the hierarchies easily in the future, right? So you can extend your classes in the future because you have placed them into some hierarchical manner, so it is easy to extend the classes. Now whenever you make all these things into each and every property and each and every functionality into same its own, it is you cannot extend in the future, right? Easy you can extend, right? And you will get what? Still classes can be easily maintained for you, right? It is easy to maintain the classes, right? Reduces the complexity while designing your classes. Let's suppose, what is the meaning of this now? Now I'm going to add some other classes to this. Let's suppose I would like to add some other classes to a student, right? Just example. Now I'm going to take two classes here into this, right? And these two classes are of type what? These two classes are of type student, right? So what is this here? I'm going to take a class called as uh, a CSC student, right? And I am going to take a class called as and suppose ECE student. Now what I'm going to do here? So every student will read and write, but there is specific things what is CSC students write programs, right? So this is CSC student is going to do. ECE student is going to develop what? Some other things, right? Some design. What is going to design? Circuit, something, right? So here, now what I'm doing here, when I started designing the CSC student and EC student, I am focusing only on what a CSC student is, what is EC student is, but I am not going to focus on all what a student is going to do, because there are already some function there are already common things what every student does is already available for me. So I will focus on only what a CSC student is going to do and what a EC student is going to do. That is the meaning of what? Easy to extend your architecture so that you can easily maintain. So while I'm adding new classes to this hierarchy, while every time when I'm adding new classes to this hierarchy, I will be focusing on only his specific things instead of rather than focusing on all common, all what this object is containing, name, age. No, I'm not going to focus on all those things. I will focus on only those which are specific to this apart from these common things. So like this you can create your classes in a hierarchical manner and to reuse the things. Now this name is reused in how many areas? This name is reused with faculty, office boy, student, accountant, as well as that name is available for CSC student and ECE student, right? So like this, arranging the classes in a hierarchical manner to reuse the things without writing repeatedly, right? So we call it as what? Inheritance, where the functionalities and properties whatever you keep in the super classes can be directly accessed with these child classes, subclasses, right? So these are all common things for what? These four types, and these read, write and all are common things for what? The CSC and ECE, right? So like this, arranging the classes in this manner is called as what? Inheritance. So those are some few advantages I have given, right? So here this relation is called as, there is a name, we can technically say this relation is called as, right? So what we call this relation, when you move from bottom to top, when you move from bottom to top, this relation is always seen from bottom to top, right? Is a relation, we call it as what? Is a. What is the meaning of is a? Faculty is a employee, office boy is a employee, student is a employee, student is employee, no, right? But example, take it as, or you can take it as what? Just you can change the name if it is not employee, if you don't feel it is a correct name, right? So they take it as what? A simple person. I think it is okay, right? So you can take it as what? A simple name. You can take it as person. Fine. Now it looks okay, I think. Right? Now still you can keep on adding the things to this person class where I have these things. right? So this is what you have here. So like this we will be arranging the classes to achieve all these features, right? So generalization, or we call it as easy. Faculty is a person, office boy is a person, student is a person, and accountant is a person, right? So here I'm keeping all person things here into this, and these are all shareable with each and every person object, right? Now if I want to make it still more simple, right, so I'm going to write talk, walk, like such kind of things you can take here, right? So like this. So each and every person will have these things, along with he can do what, his own things. That is what we have here, right? So arranging the classes like this is called as inheritance. Did you get it? Is it fine? Right? So is a relation, we call it as. So whenever you move from top to bottom to top, whenever you move from bottom to top, so what we'll see here, whenever you move from bottom to top, which type of classes you will see? Whenever you move from bottom to top, you will always see specialized classes, right? So specialized classes, and whenever you reach to one layer up, you will be seeing generalized classes. So this is specialized form of student, and student is a specialized form of a person, like this. And whenever you move from top to bottom, what you will see? Generalization to what? Specialization. Whenever you move from bottom to top, you will see specialized classes to what? Generalized classes. Right? This is bottom to top approach. In the bottom layers, always you will have specialized classes. In the top layers, you will have generalized classes. And this is called as is a relation. That means what a CSC student, what a CST student object can access. A CST student object can access his own specific things, and he can also access the properties and functionalities which are there in the student. Also he can access the properties and functionalities which are there in a person class, right? And so this class I have taken, technically speaking, if you see this class I have taken, I have designed this class for adding a group of things only. There is, technically seeing, there is no actual meaning for what? This person class. I have started creating this class because of the common things. There is no actual meaning of creating this class. I have taken this class because of there are some common fields and functionalities are there in each and every class. Instead of writing them repeatedly, I have created this class. But technically there is no meaning of this particular class, right? Technically there is no person exist, but a person exists. A person may be exist in the form of faculty, office boy, student, or accountant, or CSC or EC. So I have taken this class because of there are common things, but technically there is no person class exist, right? Right? So like this. So faculty is a person, office boy is a person, but there is no relation. Very important to understand. There is no relation between faculty and office boy. Faculty is a different object, office boy is a different object, or student is a different object. Faculty and students are what? Different objects, but they have their own specific things, along with they have their own common things, right? So faculty and student, two different objects, but they have these two different objects having some common things along with their own specific things. So faculty and student objects are not same objects, but they have some common things. What are these common things? They have these common things, right? So this is what inheritance is. Arranging the classes like this in a hierarchical manner, we call it as inheritance. So the advantages are, these are the advantages, right? Now whenever you write your classes, now we are going to do this, right? So if you, as you have written your classes, if you know or if you don't know, already whatever the class you have written, it is a class which is it is already participating in inheritance. That means in Java, whatever the program you write, one more important interview question, whatever the program you write, right, in Java, that program, that class is a directly or indirectly a child class for a class called as object class. This is a predefined class. This is a predefined class which comes with your Java software, and each and every class directly or indirectly a child class for what? Object class. So that means whenever you create a class, By defaultly that class will be there in inheritance relation, and that class may be direct or indirect child class for what? Object class. This is what you have here, right? So we'll see this later, what is the meaning of this object class and all, right? Okay, fine. Yes, somebody is asking like, can I add still 2 more faculties under this faculty class? Absolutely you can add. What is there? No problem. When you add, so whatever you have these common functionalities apart from, as he said, physics faculty. Yes, you can have physics faculty, some specific things, some chemistry faculty, some specific things. Teachers physics, teachers chemistry. Yes, absolutely can go with. Extending this architecture, there is no limitation. You can add a number of classes into this architecture, right? So whenever you are designing your classes like this, so there you will come across these kind of common things, and and instead of writing them repeatedly, you place them. You can extend whatever you want to add. That depends on your requirement and all. This completely depends on your requirement, right? So just this is example I'm giving. That depends on your objects, how many objects you will get in your case study and all. That's completely depends on your requirement. Just example I'm giving here. Don't think this is the exact scenario. This is one example, right? So this is what is inheritance is, right? Did you understand this? So that way we can convert all this theory into programming. Okay, do you have any doubts in this? No. Okay, right? So that how can I convert all these things into a programming, right? So before moving on to programming, so this relationship, right? So this relationship, whatever we have created as we discussed, is a relationship. There's nothing complex here. Simply we use one keyword in between these classes, and that keyword which relates these two classes is what? Extends. So we'll be creating, now whatever you see here in this architecture, each this box becomes a class. So public class person and public class faculty extends person. Very simple keyword we use. Nothing here. It is very simple to write public class faculty extends person, public class office by extends person, student extends person, accountant extends person. A simple keyword we use which relates the classes. Extends. What is that? Extends. That is a very simple keyword we use, right? There is a very simple keyword we use and to relate these classes, right? So this is what you have here, extends. Now let us try to write these things here. Now but there are different ways you can arrange these classes. We have given different types of arranging these classes, right? So what are these you have here? Now what are the different ways you can arrange these classes? Just a hierarchical manner only. Now you can arrange these classes in a different way. So what are the different ways you can arrange these classes? So there are some different types of inheritances are possible here. So there is one superclass you can have, right? One superclass which has one subclass. So in whenever you do inheritance, in the inheritance, if there are only two classes, right? So this kind of inheritance is called as simple inheritance or single inheritance. Only two classes, one superclass with one child class. And guys, remember, whenever you have inheritance, always arrow points towards superclass. This is how we relate this. This is how we show the relationship. What is the meaning of this? B is a subclass, A is a superclass. Arrow always points towards a superclass. Arrow always points towards superclass, right? So this is what. So like this, how many architectures, how many different ways I can arrange these classes in a give, right? Right? B inherits the properties of A class, absolutely. B gets the properties of A class. So in simple I can say inheritance is nothing but what? One object gets the properties from other object is called as what? Inheritance. A object getting the properties from other object is called as inheritance. So for this you need to arrange your classes in a particular order. Just for understanding purpose, syntactical purpose, we will be arranging the classes. Now if you have classes like this, the architecture is like this, right? If you have your classes architecture like this is called as multi-level inheritance. What it is called as? Multi-level. So what is the specialty of this? How it is different from this? So if you see the B class, a B class acts like a superclass for C as well as the same class acts like a subclass for A. Right? So this class acts like a superclass as well as it is acting like a subclass. So that is what is multi-level. Still, how many ways I can arrange? Quickly. Just combinations, nothing but different combinations I'm going for. Right? So this is one more arrangement you can have. What is that? More superclasses. More superclasses. And one child class. More superclasses, one child class. This is also possible. Different types of arrangement, A, B and C. This kind of arranging the class is called as multi-level. This is simple. This is multi-level. This is called as multiple. What is this called as? Multiple. This is multiple. This is multi-level. And this is a simple or single inheritance. Multi-level, this is single inheritance. Right? And very important point, again interview point of view question here. So this kind of inheritance is not supported in Java. What is that? This kind of inheritance is not supported in Java. It's not possible. You cannot create the inheritance, this one. That means what? You cannot have two superclasses, more superclasses, more than two superclasses and one child class. No. A class, that means indirectly, a class can extend from only one class. It cannot extend from what? More than one class. It's not possible. Right? It is very important interview question. So this kind of inheritance is not supported in Java. No. So a class can have at most, at max, only one superclass. It cannot have directly, right? A class cannot directly extend more than one superclass. Indirectly it is possible. Indirectly means what? This one, C. How many superclasses C is having? B as well as A. But directly a class cannot extend what? More than one superclass. Not possible. And identify the reason for this, why it is restricted, why you cannot do this, why Java people has restricted this. There is a big drawback is there with this approach, and just identify this and just let me give what is the problem with this, right? So very important interview point of question, multiple inheritance is not possible in Java through classes, but it is achieved in some other way mechanism, right? So there is a big reason for this. That means you cannot directly create a child class by extending a more than one superclass. No, it is not possible, right? And whatever we have seen previously, that kind of arrangement of classes is called as what? So one superclass, right? This is the most important one. Very regularly you come across this kind of arrangement of your classes. Previously whatever I described, one superclass with multiple child classes. A superclass with multiple child classes. This kind of arrangement is called as what? Hierarchical. This kind of arrangement is called as hierarchical, right? So this is the most important and this is the most commonly used inheritance, like architecture of the classes, right? So previous one, whatever I have taken the example, this is also same. That one is also same like this, arranging the hierarchical way of classes, right? So I'm making them as what? So like this, hierarchical inheritance. And most commonly used inheritance, you will come across this one, hierarchical. A has superclass, B, C are child classes, B is having some more child classes like this. The classes can be extended further. The architecture can be extended further, right? So this is what you have. Right. So right, a child class cannot directly extend to more than one child class. So this is the one hierarchical, and you have hybrid inheritance. Combination of any one, like more than one inheritance is called as hybrid, right? So this is what you have here. Now how can you arrange the classes in an inheritance manner? How to arrange the class in a inheritance manner? How to write the programs for them, right? So you can write the programs for them. right? So I'm going to take the same example whatever I have taken. Right, okay, fine, let me take the same example. Tomorrow we'll see one more example. Okay, I'm going to create my classes now. Public class person with fields like a name as well age. And I have taken one functionality, common functionality for each and every person, like public void, what is it, some tag or what we can do. Something, just don't see the implementation, try to understand the concept. So this is my class which has generalized class, or we call it as what, a super class. Dot Java, I'm going to save inside E online classes. Fine, right? So this is one class I have, and one more class, public class faculty. He's having his own faculties, right? And what is this? Double salary and okay, fine, again double experience you can take, fine. So what he's going to do, he's going to public a void teach, he's going to teach, so it is specific, right? System dot out data println of faculty teaches, faculty teaches, that is what you have here. Dot Java, it's fine, but only faculty is having only these things? No, apart from these, faculty is also having what, the properties which I have described in the person. So what I need to do here, extends, I need to relate the classes person. This is what I need to do. So what is the meaning of this extends person mean? Now faculty is a class, he will have, faculty object will have what, when if I create the object for faculty class, that object will have these fields as well as these functionalities, along with that object also will have what, the fields and the functionalities of what, the person, right? So a faculty means what, combination of faculty specific things as well as person things, right? So this is what you have here. Now let me write one more class to this. What is this class? Public class. Student extends person, and let's suppose student specific things. What is he's having? Student, let's suppose subject, and okay, how much fee is going to pay, and he is not going to teach, he is going to read and write. Student reads. So this is what a student class. So student will have the specific things like this, as well as he is also will have his own. Oh, I have already a student class. Fine, it will be overriding that. Right? So what does the student mean here? Student object mean? Student object mean these two fields along with the two fields in the person, as well as this functionality along with the person functionality. Right? So you can take some other also, no problem. I'm not going to write right. This is the one. Now let us write a main class so that we can understand all these things, right? So public class. So I'm just making a few classes in this architecture. A person main class, so which represents this class is I'm using to create person object. So a person object means what? It can be a student type or it can be a faculty type. Public static void main string args, right? Now I'm going to create the objects of type what? Faculty. First let me create the object of type faculty. Some f is equals to new faculty. Now what this faculty will have here, right? This object will have all fields of faculties along with the common fields from what? Person. This is what? Person main class dot java, right? Now this will have default values, right? So let me add some method to get the faculty values. So get faculty details, public void get faculty. Just I would like to print what is the faculty object is containing, just for printing the values in the faculty, right? What is it? System dot out data print ln of right. Just I'm not initializing anything, just let me take I have a name which is from superclass. So superclass variables can be directly accessed in the child class. See here, I'm not using how I'm accessing the child class variables. In the same way I'm accessing the superclass variables, age plus age, so they can be directly accessed. So simple rule you can remember, superclass things are by default child class things. There are some exceptions to this rule, but most of the cases you will take superclass things are by defaultly child class things. Salary plus you will have experience. So this experience and salary are his own specific. Apart from this, right, there are two things which are from a faculty, right? Now if I want to get faculty, if I want to see faculty details, faculty data, faculty object dot get faculty. Just let me compile and execute this program so that we'll see what it is going to give this get details method. Right? What is that? Java C person main. It's fine compiled, no error. Person main. Now just I have created a faculty object. See here. So these two fields are from what? It's superclass. They also initialized with default values, as well as they are specific to what? Faculty. They are also initialized with what? Default values. Right? Right? The same kind of method I would like to add inside a student. So this is a very key point here. So superclass properties can be directly accessed with what? Child class. So you can directly access them, right? So because they are common and they are available, whatever are there in the person, they are by default available for faculty as well as what? Student. Now just I would like to write one more method here. This is what? Get a student. Name, age anyways are available. Salary is not available to a student because salary is of faculties. So salary cannot be called here because salary is instance variable of faculty class. So student will have these common two fields along with his own specific things. These subject and fees are specific to what? Student. Now let us create a student object here. The same way, let me create a student object and let me call that one. Student S is equals to what? New student. S data get student. Right? Fine. Person main, it's fine. Now you can see here. So in both objects you have two common fields and you have two specific fields with each and every object. Right? So salary can be called here in the student class. Salary can be called in the student class. No, salary is not there here as well as in the person. It is specific to what? Faculty. So superclass properties are by default. Superclass things are by default subclass. You can access them. How you access its own fields, in the same way you can access the things from superclass. Now let's suppose if I would like to create a student object with the help of a constructor. Student. So I am adding a constructor. This is a no argument constructor. In the same way I am going to add a argument constructor. Now where I am going to take all student fields here. What is it? First one is a string name from superclass, int age from superclass, and string subject from its own, as well as double fee, again its own. Right? So how should I initialize them? Because local variables and instance variables both are same, I need to use this data. Name is equal to name. Right? So already we have come across this keyword previously. Right? And this data, age is equals to age, and this data, subject is equals to subject, and this dot fee is equals to fee. Right? Now I am going to create my object by using this. See here, I am trying to access two fields from this class and two its superclass fields. Now let us try to create the object by using this constructor, so that we can check. Now I am going to use the same student. First name. Let's suppose I have a ABC is a name, and I have a second age. Age is of type integer, some 22, and I have a subject. Let's suppose Java, and I have some fee. Let's suppose some 4,500. This is what. Now let me run this program. Compile and run this program. So what I will get here is fine, and you will see. So in the same way, how we have did to create your objects and all, in the same way I am able to create my objects and all. Right? So here you can see your object with the data whatever I passed. ABC, 22, Java, and 4,500. The same way how we have created your object, in the same way you can create it now. So this is what here. So what is the advantage of this person class here? So there are number of advantages you have by taking this person class, right? So these things, instead of repeatedly writing, you can reuse them. What about the stack method? How to call the stack method? If I want to call the stack method, I can call the stack method by using any one of these two objects. I can use faculty.talk, absolutely, because it is available in the faculty, and I can use student.talk, both. Right? Now both ways I can call. Through any object, the talk method can be called. It will be executed for twice, person talks and person talks. So instead of writing the code repeatedly with each and every class, I have created one common class which has all common things which should be shared for different types of person objects. And in the future, if I want to add a new class to this, let's suppose I want to add a businessman. Simple, I can add it businessman extends person, and I need to write only the businessman properties and functionalities. I don't need to write each and everything again repeatedly. Right? So here, absolutely correct. S.read faculty.teach. So he's saying what? So apart from this, I can call faculty's own specific methods. What are this? Faculty's own specific methods. What is this? Teach is this one, as well as you can call students read method also. I have taken read method, I think. Yeah, absolutely can call. But I cannot call faculty.read because read method is not from a faculty. You cannot do this faculty.read. No, because read is not there in the faculty. Now in the same way, let's suppose I would like to create a person object. How can I create a person object here? Person P is equals to what? New person. So through this object, what I can call here? Through this person object, technically I can create it, but there is no meaning of creating a person object. As I told you, person means what? I have created this class only for placing my common things of faculty and student. But you can create the object, absolutely possible. Only you can call faculty specific. What is that? Person specific. Only you can call stock, or you cannot call. This is a very important interview point. You cannot call a superclass through a superclass. You cannot call child class things. No, you cannot call child class specific things with a superclass. Right? A superclass cannot access the child class properties and functionalities. A superclass can access only superclass. You cannot call the child class. Right? Let's suppose in the person, right? I cannot access get person. Let's suppose I'm writing get person here in simple. Just for example, I'm taking this get person method there, right? Get person. Right? So get person. Now what I'm trying to do here, in the get person, I'm trying to call person, name, number, age, subject, fee of student, and I'm trying to call from the faculty, what I have in the faculty salary, I think is it there? I think it is there. Now just let me compile my code. So I'm trying to call persons as well as what? I'm trying to call persons as well as students as well as faculties. Now it is saying what? There are three errors. What it is saying? I don't find a variable called as subject. No, I don't find a variable called as fee. I don't find a variable called as salary, because person will not know what is the child classes will have. No, through a person you cannot call faculties or students specific things. That means technically a child class can call superclass properties and superclass fields and superclass methods, but whereas a superclass cannot call what are child class things. What is the meaning of this? A person will have a name and age, but a person will have a salary? No, you cannot say all persons will have a salary. No, only faculty, right? So you cannot call what? You cannot call subclasses properties and functionalities through superclass object. No, it is not correct. So this is wrong here. Now you cannot call p.teach. No, you cannot call this. All persons teaches. No, only faculty, persons of type faculty teaches. Persons of type faculty teaches. But all persons will not teach. No, it is not correct to call teach on faculty person. Right? So person is one type and faculty is one type, student is one type. Faculty is a person, student is a person, but person is not a faculty or a student. No. So that you cannot call the specific things of faculty and student with a person type. So specific methods of child classes you cannot call with the superclass objects. Right? Is it okay? Very important point. So subclass object can call superclass property, superclass fields and superclass functionalities, whereas superclass object cannot call the subclass properties and functionalities. Okay, do you understand what is the meaning of inheritance? Why we go for inheritance? Very, very important topic. This concept leads you to lots of topics in the future. Almost the same concept leads you to 3 to 4 important concepts. The same concept. Yes, that much importance is there for this concept. Is it okay? Did you understand this? If you have any doubts, you can ask now. Doubts? Okay, fine. Always I will see the messages from only one. I don't see any reply from other. What happened, guys? Okay, shall we continue further or shall I? If you have any queries, then I'm ready to start. I'm ready to solve now. Jitendra, is it okay? Right? Fine. So this is what you have inheritance. Now whereas you cannot inherit more than one class, so you cannot write a extends comma person comma something. No, you cannot write it. Person comma, let's suppose. No, it's not possible to extend, but if I write, let's suppose time being I'm writing A temporarily. See what it is saying? Saying what? See? Public class student extends both. Not possible. It's not possible. It is showing the error there. It's not possible. Java will restrict you to do this. Right? Okay, fine. Let me save this class. Right? So it is not possible to call both classes. Right? Okay? Fine. You can if you have idea about NetBeans, you start it. I'm not stopping you, right? You can start it. Very simple. Very simple. Very easy. Right? So that is what you have here. Which one NetBeans? You want to see? Fine. Right? So this is my NetBeans software is installed into this. NetBeans or Eclipse. Just you need to install the software, and already it is installed in my machine. It is 7.3 latest version I have. Same thing I'm doing. Right, Jitendra, this is IDE, it is called as IDE, Integrated Development Environment, where people uses this software to develop their applications, right? So now, it's still getting started. Download it, it is freely available for you. Right, so fine. Now whenever you use this, any IDE, if you want to create the classes, file, new project, what type of application you want to develop, it is going to ask for you, right? So Java application. If you are developing a web application. If you are developing a enterprise application. Now time being we are developing a normal Java application. Java application. That's it. Next, it is asked for your name of your project. What project you want to create. You can take any name here. That's your, let's suppose I am giving core Java is my project name. It's fine. Write it. Now finish. That's it. It's one project. Now what is the project which is created for you? A project with a core Java. You can see this side. Okay? Is it visible? Yes? Right click on this. What you want to do? You want to add a class, new Java class. Click on this. It is going to take the class name. Right? What is the class name? Let's suppose person. Right? Just finish. Now it is going to create a class for you. And what you want to do here? You want to write anything? You can write it. Public static void method. There is a static, like what? There is a shortcut you have. Public static void main. Right? This is a person class. That's it. And the specialty of this ID is while typing your program itself, it is going to show you the compile time errors. Lots of things are there. This is the one, only one, simple. Right? A main method. Then if you want to run it, right click on this, run file, or person class run file. Now it is going to execute it, and you can see the output here itself in the bottom window. This is a person class. That's it. What is there? It's not difficult. I'm using 2 to 3 different softwares to write and compile and execute. Here everything is in simple. No need of compilation, nothing. It is by default compiling all your classes. Directly you can run your classes. Now you can create the classes. If you want to add one more class, new class. That's it. New class, that's it. Keep on adding the classes to the same project. No need to create each project. In the same project, add one more class. Let's suppose if I want to add a student, find student class, finish. Which one? This one. By default it is going to create it. Delete it. If you don't require, delete it. Nothing is. By default it is going to create one class for you. Delete it. No problem. Now there is a student class. I want to create extents. Extents shortcut. So whenever you want to get the shortcuts, always use control space. It gives all these things. Right? Which class you want to extend? Control space. These are all the classes you can extend for a student class. Now what class I want to extend? Person. Right, this is the class I want to extend for a student class. That's it. And write student class. Very simple, very easy to write, very simple, not complex. Got it. So control space, control space. So these are all the methods which you can use. Right? Fine. It's not a miraculous tool. Maximum, not only this, any IDE, Eclipse or anything, it is not miracle. I don't think you need to have a special class to learn it. Anyways, we'll be seeing these things. Absolutely need to have some idea regarding this. Without this, no company develops the applications, right? But it is straight away you can start it. No need of, it's max it takes 15 minutes to half an hour to understand what is it. That's it. Nothing much it takes. Right? So it is freely available, NetBeans. You can download it from Oracle site. Right? So that is what you have. Right, guys? So shall we stop the session then today? Tomorrow we'll continue with again inheritance with the